Hi everyone, this is JC here. I am the Content Marketing Manager at Socedo, and here with me I have Adam Hutchinson, who leads our demand generation initiatives at Socedo. Today we're excited to talk to you guys about how you can supercharge your campaigns with the Socedo Salesforce integration. So as you probably already know at a high level, we have the ability to connect Socedo with Salesforce, and the core benefit you're going to get from that is you would be able to follow up with your social leads from Socedo and track how these leads move through your marketing and sales pipeline. So if you haven't already connected your Socedo account to your Salesforce account, you can find pretty much detailed instructions on how to do that on our website. For this webinar, we're going to assume you've already connected your Socedo and Salesforce accounts. So we'll just dive into how you can customize your settings to fit your business needs. But we'll actually spend the bulk of our time really walking you through what are the key metrics from Socedo and Salesforce you can see regarding your leads. Then we'll dive into Salesforce to show you where you can find social media activities data of your leads. We'll talk about how you can use this behavioral data in Pardot email marketing system to create timely campaigns, or how you can assign leads to specific people or groups for outbound follow-ups. Okay, I'll have Adam walk you through the rest of this.
Thanks, JC. Yeah, I'm super excited to be on the webinar today. As the demand gen manager here at Socedo, it's my job to make sure our leads are moving through the sales pipeline and we're really seeing the ROI from our marketing efforts. And so part of this integration allows us to take social data all the way through the pipeline down to sales, and so we can accelerate the pipeline and also track social media ROI. And so it all starts, of course, with the data that we're sending into Salesforce. And there's a couple of different ways we can set up the configuration to send social data into Salesforce from Socedo. So for this account, you can see they've chosen to send all of their approved leads over to Salesforce. So you have the option of either sending over every lead in the discovered bucket who you click approve on and say, yeah, this is a qualified lead that meets my definitions and I want to send them into my database. Or a lot of customers also choose just to send over the followers, the people who followed my handle on Twitter, who already expressed some proactive interest and are ready for some follow-up. It's kind of up to your business. We see it both ways. Then you can also choose whether you want to send over everyone or just the people who we can find email addresses for. Socedo has about a 50% match rate between a Twitter handle to a corporate email address. And we only send over the corporate email addresses for you to follow up with. But some customers prefer to send over everyone, regardless of email address, so that they can do lead scoring, but also assign more leads to sales for outreach. They can connect with them on LinkedIn later, maybe find them at an event, or just keep them in their system so that when they do connect with them, they have all of that previous social data with them. Finally, we can decide how we want to send existing leads over. So Socedo will check and see if an email address already exists in Salesforce, and if it does, Socedo can either create a duplicate lead, and you can use your own deduplication tool to merge those leads together, or as most people do, you can actually update the existing lead that's already in your Salesforce instance, and we'll just add the Socedo data on top of it. Now all of this data really starts, as I said, from matching that Twitter handle to a corporate email address and a LinkedIn profile, because from there we can get all of the company data as well as more social engagement data and some personal data as well. So this is the data that we can export in many different varieties, including the Salesforce sync. And you'll see here it not only includes our email addresses and our names, but also how are they engaging with us on Twitter? Did they respond to a DM? Did they click a link? As well as profile data like where they're located, what's their LinkedIn URL. You can even go as far as, what's their clout score and how influential are they in an industry. And you can also look at their company data, what's their website, where do they work, and how can I contact them. With all of this data, Socedo can also track leads through the demand gen pipeline. So on our reports section, we actually have a specific integrated Salesforce report that shows us how our Socedo leads are performing in Salesforce specifically. So in this account, as of the past month, they've synced 73 leads from Socedo into Salesforce, and out of those, 53 have had their status updated. Now that's a pretty good percentage. That means 53 of them have already been picked up and are starting to be worked by a sales rep. These other 20 leads are probably new leads that we're still waiting to get into the queue, or maybe there's a couple sales reps that we need to get on their case about following up on some leads. From here, we can also see how well they're moving through our pipeline. So we've seen that in this lifetime report, we've had 10 opportunities created from Socedo leads. And within that, almost $500,000 in pipeline has been created just from Socedo leads. And that's crazy. So people who saying social media doesn't have an ROI, well, here it is, right here in your pipeline. We can also track their status all the way through down to the customer's status. So are they an MQL? Did we get a meeting with them? Are we still nurturing them? And finally, did they become a customer with us? And all these different statuses can be tracked right in Socedo on our Socedo leads. Now let's jump into Salesforce and see what this data actually looks like. Easiest way to find our Socedo leads is by filtering down. When Socedo syncs leads into Salesforce, the lead source field is automatically updated to say Socedo. So if we take all of our leads, we can just filter down on this lead source Socedo. We can filter down further by sales rep or by Socedo lead stage, however we want to see our leads. Now with this data, comes all the way down to the lead level. So we'll see here on a specific contact record, we have their Twitter information, their LinkedIn URL, as well as that company information and job title that we pulled from the exports. We're also always adding in Socedo lead stages into the activity log. So this would be something like, did someone receive our DM? Did they click that DM? All the way down to the conversion that we can track from Socedo. That gets updated as activities in their contact log. Now from here, all of this data that Socedo is providing into Salesforce can automatically be ushered over to Pardot. So if you're using Pardot with your Salesforce instance to do marketing, you can use all of this activity data as well as this behavioral data to enable lead scoring, lead nurturing, and real-time marketing. So for example, if I have a new lead coming in and their lead stage is that they followed me back on Twitter but they haven't clicked a link yet, I might add them into a nurture campaign and send them a welcome email with a different kind of offer. Especially if I know their job title and maybe their company and industry, I might know that they're interested in my white paper on content marketing. So I can send them a follow-up email specifically about my content marketing white paper. And then I can add them to a nurturing program that continues to send them content offers until they're ready for a sales conversation. I can also do lead scoring on top of this based on their job titles, their industries, and of course how active they are. Someone who clicks one of my links should probably get a higher lead score than someone who I just discovered. So I have one customer, for example, who adds 15 points to a lead score for everyone who clicks their DM link, and just 10 points if they follow them back. And that way they can move the really engaged leads faster down the funnel. And it's important for us to be lead scoring all of our social leads because we found that socially engaged leads move faster through the demand gen pipeline by about 25%. That means 25% faster from a lead status to a customer is time savings not only for your marketing but also for your sales reps. So if we know that our leads are going to move faster, we want to make sure we increase their lead scores and we get them over to sales as quickly as possible. Now, regardless of what kind of marketing you're doing over in Pardot with this data, it's also really useful data to have for your sales teams over here in Salesforce. And so what we can actually do is, for example, set up different campaigns to segment where we're sending our leads to different lead owners. So for example, if we have a conference coming up that's a customer-centric conference and we have a really engaged hashtag on it, we can track everyone in a Socedo campaign who's engaging with the hashtag for that conference. And then the people who are actively tweeting it can go straight to a sales rep. And then that sales rep can reach out to them in real time and actually set up demos for the conference, or ask to meet, or have follow-up meetings afterwards. We can continue to track people who are engaged with us past the conference. And so, if someone who we didn't have the chance to meet them actually at the conference, or maybe they're an old customer who's kind of fallen off cold, but if they're engaging with us on Twitter, we can pick that up with a Socedo campaign, alert one of our sales reps, and reach out to re-engage them and hopefully set them back up as a successful customer. From here, we can also obviously always track what our new activities are. We can also, so if someone starts to convert off of our Socedo campaign, we'll want that activity to come into our sales reps logs, so that way they know that someone has already taken an action from Socedo. But all of this information really helps you to identify who your audience is, to segment them appropriately based on what kind of actions they're taking on Twitter, and to nurture them down the funnel from both marketing and a sales perspective. So that way your most qualified leads can convert faster. Thanks everyone for joining us for this webinar. Hopefully it was helpful to see a little bit about how we can use social data actually in Salesforce and throughout the sales pipeline to convert leads faster, and empower our sales reps as well as our marketing teams to reach out to leads with the right message at the right time.